There are 15 shocking revelations about Charlie Chaplin's life that completely transform how his story is understood. What will be uncovered about the man behind the tramp will reveal how the darkest childhood imaginable created the greatest comedian in history. But revelation number 8 contains a secret about his personal life that most people have never heard before. But first, revelation number 1 must be understood, because without grasping this foundation, nothing else about Chaplin's genius makes sense. Most people think Charlie Chaplin was born into show business, but that's completely wrong. When Charlie Spencer Chaplin entered the world on April 16, 1889, in the dark alleys of London, he entered a nightmare that would have destroyed most children. His father was absent and alcoholic. His mother, Hannah, was a struggling performer who lost her voice and eventually her sanity. By age 7, Charlie and his brother Sidney were homeless, shivering through nights in workhouses and dreaming of a life that seemed impossible. It was a childhood of pain, fear, and hunger. Yet every hardship would later fuel the magic of his comedy. And this sets up revelation number 2, which explains how tragedy became the foundation of his genius. Charlie's mother Hannah was his beacon of hope in the darkness, but when Charlie was just 14 years old, she suffered a complete mental breakdown and was admitted to an asylum. For Charlie, watching his mother lose her mind was unbearable pain. Yet this devastating loss gave him something precious, a sensitive heart that could turn tears into laughter. He carried this gift with him into every performance, especially in films like The Kid, where the bond between a child and an unlikely father captured real human heartbreak and love. But revelation number 3 reveals how Charlie discovered his superpower in the most unlikely place. While other children played with toys, Charlie found his escape in something extraordinary: performance. He began mimicking people on the streets, copying their walks, gestures, and quirks with perfect precision. The misery around him became his training ground for comedy. While others saw only pain and poverty, Charlie saw stories, gestures, and infinite possibilities for laughter. The streets of London had given him the greatest acting education money couldn't buy. This street-level genius would later become the foundation for his most famous creation. But revelation number 4 shows the moment everything. At 19, Charlie joined a theater troupe and toured England, honing his craft. But in 1910, he made a single decision that would alter the course of entertainment history forever. He sailed to America. Within just 4 years of arriving in Hollywood, he became the highest paid actor in the industry, earning $10,000 a week, roughly $300,000 in today's money. All because of a bowler hat, a twirling cane, and his most beloved creation, the Little Tramp. But revelation number 5 reveals the dark price of his incredible success. Fame came at a devastating cost. Chaplin faced scandals, political controversies, and intense government scrutiny. In the 1950s, he was accused of being a communist sympathizer and banned from returning to the United States. For a man who had once ruled Hollywood, it was a crushing blow. The country that had made him a star had now declared him an enemy. But this exile would lead to revelation number 6, which shows how he found his greatest happiness. Chaplin's personal life was as dramatic as his career. He married 4 times and had relationships that scandalized Hollywood. But in 1943, at age 54, he found his salvation: Una O'Neill, the 18-year-old daughter of playwright Eugene O'Neill. Despite a 36-year age gap that shocked society, this became his happiest and longest marriage. With Una, Charlie finally built the family he never had as a child, having 8 children together and creating the loving home he dreamed of since those cold London nights. But revelation number 7 reveals a side of Chaplin that few people ever knew existed. Charlie Chaplin wasn't just a genius on screen, he was a mischievous prankster at home. One sunny afternoon, he decided to recreate the Little Tramp right in his own living room, wearing his bowler hat, cane, and oversized shoes. He tiptoed behind his beloved wife Una and, in a dramatic whisper, asked, "Who is this mysterious lady in my house?" Una, quick as ever, screamed, laughed, and chased him around the room, knocking over a vase, dodging the cane, and giggling all the while. Even in his 50s, Chaplin's childlike humor and playful spirit kept their marriage full of laughter, chaos, and pure love. And this playfulness extended to revelation number 8, which shows how he gave his children what he never had. Beyond the silver screen, Charlie Chaplin was a devoted and playful father. He cherished every moment with his 8 children, whether telling stories, playing pranks, or acting out the Little Tramp in the living room. Charlie brought laughter and joy into his home, giving his children the childhood he never experienced. Even in the midst of fame and film sets, he made sure that family came first, teaching his kids that love, humor, and kindness were more valuable than anything money could buy. But revelation number 9 reveals the film that meant more to him than any other. Among all his masterpieces, Charlie Chaplin often said that City Lights was the film closest to his heart. In it, the little tramp falls in love with a blind flower girl, giving everything to help her without ever asking for anything in return. It wasn't just comedy, it was love, hope, and humanity captured in perfect silence. For Chaplin, This performance embodied his entire life, a mixture of struggle, kindness, and resilience, reminding the world that even in the darkest times, compassion and laughter can shine through. This film also led to revelation number 10, which involves one of the greatest minds in human history. Even legends have heroes, and Charlie Chaplin was no exception. At the premiere of City Lights, we had the chance to meet Albert Einstein, the brilliant mind he deeply admired. The two shared a quiet moment of mutual respect, Chaplin with his gift of laughter, Einstein with his genius of thought. For Chaplin, this encounter was more than a meeting. It was a reminder that human brilliance and creativity can inspire across all fields, whether on screen or in the world's greatest ideas. But revelation number 11 reveals the philosophy that kept him going through every hardship. Through all his struggles, Charlie Chaplin discovered a life philosophy that would carry him through every dark moment. He once said, "You'll never find a rainbow if you're looking down." Behind the hat and cane was a man carrying a lifetime of pain, yet giving the world laughter and hope. Chaplin taught generations to look up, even when life drags them down. This wasn't just a quote, it was the secret to how he transformed suffering into joy. This philosophy shaped revelation number 12, which shows how his art became immortal. Chaplin gave the world classics like The Kid, City Lights, Modern Times, and The Great Dictator. He wasn't just a comedian, he was a visionary storyteller who explored poverty, war, love, and the full spectrum of human experience through his art. His laughter outlived his struggles, inspiring generations around the world and proving that entertainment could carry profound meaning about the human condition. But revelation number 13 reveals how the world finally recognized his genius. Charlie Chaplin wasn't just loved by audiences, he was celebrated by the entire film industry. He received an honorary Academy Award in 1929 for his versatility and genius in acting, writing, directing, and producing. Then, in 1972, the Academy honored him again with a Lifetime Achievement Award, recognizing a career that had changed the face of cinema forever. Through these awards, the world acknowledged what Chaplin always knew, that laughter can carry meaning, hope, and humanity. This recognition came at the perfect time for revelation number 14, which shows how his story ended. On December 25th, 1977, at age 88, Charlie Chaplin passed away peacefully in Switzerland. After a life filled with hardship, laughter, scandals, and triumphs, he finally found what he had always wanted: love, family, and peace. He didn't live the life he was born into. He created the one he wanted, filled with art, laughter, and an eternal legacy. His message still echoes across generations: keep looking up because the rainbow is always waiting. But revelation number 15 proves that his influence never really died. Being born as Charlie Chaplin wasn't easy. His childhood was filled with hunger, heartbreak, and loss. But out of all that pain, he gave the world something priceless: the proof that even the darkest lives can create the brightest joy. His influence didn't fade with silent film. It lives on in every comedian who transforms pain into laughter, in every actor who studied his expressions. Even modern legends like Johnny Depp have admitted to studying Chaplin's techniques to create their own unforgettable characters. So when audiences laugh at Jack Sparrow's swagger, they're also laughing with Charlie Chaplin's spirit, because the greatest artists never really leave us. They just show up in new costumes, continuing to teach the world that laughter can triumph over any darkness. The boy who started with nothing became the man who gave everything, proving that sometimes the most broken beginnings create the most beautiful endings.